What's up guys, Danz here and welcome to yet another episode of CAPMODE Cheat Codes. It's episode 13 and we're gonna get into game week 369. Obviously, same procedure as every week. We're gonna get into 3 players of the watch list from last game week, so 367. And afterwards, we're gonna get into our players for the upcoming game week 369. And after that, I'm gonna show you my full watch list consisting of 27 players. So looking at the CAPMODE cheat codes from last week, we can say that Nusayr Mazraoui was by far the best one out there. Had a cap of 35 from his L15 and scored plus 37, so it was a 72 AA alone. The second best player on the watch list from last week's game week is Serdar Aziz from Fenerbahce. Won their game 3-1 and Aziz got an assist. If he didn't get this assist, he would have scored like 37 points. With the assist, it's 62 and a plus of 33 Sorare points. The third best player, and for me that's a really good to see surprise, is Leonardo Campagna from Inter Miami. He scored 2 to secure the Inter Miami win against Columbus Crew away. It only was his third game starting this season. He came back from an injury and the first 2 games weren't as good as the third, where he bags 2 goals. So one to watch for the upcoming game weeks for me, because Inter Miami desperately need goals. Josef Martinez is out of form and Campagna is the one who they can rely on normally. So let's get into the cheat codes for game week 369. Usually we've got 2 players per position, so 2 goalkeepers, 2 defenders, 2 midfielders and 2 strikers. But today we got some 0 L15 guys. First player of the day is Alexander Nübel, goalkeeper for AS Monaco. Monaco is playing Angers away and Angers is fighting for relegation, but Monaco is not on form. You can see the last 2 games they lost 3-0 away against Lens and 4-0 at home against Montpellier. That was a really tough game for them. And you can see Nübel's scores dropping a bit here, but he's capable of producing scores of 86, 80, 73 and keeping also clean sheets like this against Ajaccio. And Angers for me is a really similar opponent to Ajaccio. And I think Monaco will turn around their bad form against Angers, and Nübel in goal has the possibility of not conceding. Then again, our second goalkeeper is Xavier Mous from SC Heerenveen, the replacement of Andries Noppert, whose injury isn't over yet. 4 league games left and they're playing NEC Nijmegen away. Last games for Moes weren't good. He conceded 4 against Sparta Rotterdam and 3 against Emmen, some weaker opponent, and made 4 and 3 Sorare points. So kept his L15 quite low, 29 L15. If he starts, it's 35, and against Nijmegen, they may not concede 3+ goals, so that would be a positive. Xavier Mous again, it's like 8 or 9 euros, so you can't go pretty much wrong for that. And if you have little cap space left and you desperately need a goalkeeper, Xavier Mous could be the call. And then our first 0 L15 guy, and it's Joel Robles from Leeds United, the Spaniard who didn't play the last games because Ilan Meslier from France is the first goalkeeper for Leeds. But Leeds just sacked their coach Javi Gracia, and for the last games of the season, remaining games against Manchester City, Newcastle, West Ham and Tottenham, they brought in Sam Allardyce to rescue. For me, it's a 50-50 situation between Meslier and Robles, because Meslier made 2 big errors the last game, but normally is one of their best players. But Joel Robles is a bit more experienced, and maybe Sam Allardyce wants to bring someone a bit older into the net to secure the backline of Leeds. So he would be a pickup for me if I got nothing to lose or no cap space left, and could be a good play for the Premier League amateur draft with 0 L15. Could be a nice cheat code. He's like 5 euros now, and obviously Man City away is maybe the worst matchup of the season, but his L15 can't go lower than 0, so why not try him out? Our first defender is Marvin Friedrich from Borussia Mönchengladbach. He normally isn't the starter for Gladbach, but Itakura got sent off after conceding a penalty last game away versus Stuttgart, so Marvin Friedrich will step in and will play alongside Nico Elvedi in the Gladbach backline. They're playing Bochum at home, so a game they could win. Gladbach are not the best team on form at the moment, just one win in their last, 8 games. But it was at home against Wolfsburg, so I could see them winning again against Bochum at home and Marvin Friedrich profiting from the plus 10 clean sheet bonus maybe. Our second defender is Juan Bernat from PSG. Always nice to have a player from this kind of teams in there who is not quite expensive, and Juan Bernat is like between 6 and 7 euros. They're playing Troyes away, so should be a very, very nice matchup. And if you look at the upcoming matchups, they're playing Ajaccio, Auxerre, Strasbourg and Clermont. For me, all teams they should be able to beat quite easily. Now coming to the second L15 of zero player, and it is none other than Kevin Wimmer from Rapid Wien. Interesting situation for Kevin Wimmer. Didn't play a single minute in his last 15 games for Rapid Wien, but was in the starting 11 for their cup final against Sturm Graz. They lost 2-0, but Kevin Wimmer looked sharp the 90 minutes he played. He only played because Michael Solbauer was suspended. He played alongside Moorman, but Moorman wasn't on form, so I could imagine him playing with Solbauer in the central defense, but for me it's like a 60-40, 50-50% chance that he plays or that Martin Moorman plays. First man in the midfield is Junior Dina Ebimbe, plays for Eintracht Frankfurt in the Bundesliga. They won their semi-final of the German DFB Pokal against Stuttgart midweek, and Ebimbe looked good and did start the last 2 games for Eintracht Frankfurt in the Bundesliga and got 39 points here, so L15 of 29 could easily be outscored by him, and his price is like 6 euros and he's under 23 until 2025. And the next guy could easily be the best card of my watch list this weekend, and that's Eric Gutierrez from PSV Eindhoven. Just have a look at his last games when he started for PSV. He scored an 85 away at Volendam and a 100 against Excelsior at home. Some huge scores, so if he gets decisive, he could easily score an 80 plus. Didn't start the last game against Ajax and didn't start the cup final against Ajax either. He came in the 98th minute, so I can see him starting against Rotterdam away, and PSV with the KNVB Baker in hand should be able to produce something away against Sparta. Coming to our 2 strikers, the first one is from the Eredivisie as well, and it's Mohamed Sanko. On loan from VfB Stuttgart in the German Bundesliga, he plays for Vitesse in the Eredivisie and really got some great scores recently. 2 decisives in the last 3 games. He's under 23 until 2028, and Vitesse is playing Fortuna Sittard away. I think Sanko will start, and if you need a striker that could be decisive, it will be him. And the last player for today is none other than Jamie Vardy from Leicester City FC. All of us know how clinical Jamie Vardy could be, unless they really need decisive from him to stay in the Premier League. That should be their aim. They're playing Fulham away, a doable matchup by my side, and Vardy scored in his last 2 games and secured a penalty in the 3rd last game, so 3 decisives in a row. He seems to be back on form a bit for the end of the season, and for a L15 of 35, I think he could be a good pickup, especially for this game week. Afterwards, you see he's playing Liverpool and Newcastle, so both teams from the top half of the table, and yeah, for me it would be just for this upcoming game week against Fulham. So let's get to our Sorare data watch list for CAPMODE cheat codes game week 369. A link is as always in the description, and we're gonna get through the players: Joao Pedro, Jason Murillo, Felix Afenajan, Juan Bernat we talked about, Mohamed against Strasbourg, Robles, Cesar Azpilicueta could be nice away against Bournemouth, Reed Baker Whiting, a gamble for Seattle Sounders, at home against Sporting KC, a good matchup also. Richard Ledesma came from the Eredivisie to New York City FC. They're playing Charlotte. Paul Jäckel should start for Union Berlin because Diego Leite is suspended, and Union tends to get some clean sheets. Then we got Ebimbe, Kabak against Frankfurt. Player again, he really disappointed last week against Stuttgart, but maybe he can score at home against Bochum. Same with Florian Neuhaus, good player normally. Kevin Volland against Angers. Same reason as for Alexander Nübel. Alex McCarthy could play for Southampton, but their goalkeeper situation is a bit tricky at the moment with Bazunu and McCarthy. Jamie Vardy, we talked about. Zanka against Liverpool. Then Kevin Wimmer, Sekou Koita and Tim Prica. As always, thank you guys for watching this episode. Thank you for the support, and just leave a like if you like the series, and I'm gonna bring it next week again. Good luck for your game week, and we'll see us